So it was one of those days where I thought, I bet soy sauce would taste pretty good in a cake. And so the result of this is this soy sauce caramel molten lava chocolate cake that is microwaved, and it is just the fudgiest cake with that soy sauce caramel drizzled all over. I know that you guys will enjoy this recipe, so here goes. Okay, so let's start off with this amazing soy caramel sauce first. So I have a 1/4 cup of dates that I've soaked just for around 2 hours just to soften it. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of coconut milk to this, as well as a 1/2 cup of demerara sugar, which will give you that really nice flavor. And then now I have the gluten-free soy sauce here. So I've added 2 tablespoons, which is a fair amount, but this is really to ensure that this is an actual soy sauce caramel sauce, and it is actually super, super good. So I added a tablespoon of arrowroot starch. You can really substitute it for cornstarch. And then in a blender this goes, and I blend it for about 5 minutes. I want to make sure that it's smooth as silk. So I'm going to put this mixture over medium, high heat and just like gently stir it around to make sure that nothing burns, and basically bring it up to a boil. Now once this starts to thicken, I am just going to turn it off. So it's just going to take a couple of minutes. So if I just cool this mixture now in the refrigerator, it would definitely set and gelatinize and get kind of all lumpy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/2 cup of coconut milk in, and then just gently whisk that in. And what that will ensure is that this is going to be nice and pourable, and it is really just the most delicious caramel sauce. So you can just stick this guy into a refrigerator, and you can use it for any time you're going to use a caramel sauce. And it's just really nice because of the soy sauce. There's this like umami-ness, almost like a slightly tart flavor in the background as well. And it just really lifts this caramel up. So I'm just showing you guys, this is after a couple of hours in the refrigerator, and you can see that it's thickened up a little bit. And again, it's amazing for any type of dessert that you want to be using. So now onwards to this microwave cake recipe, and it's just super easy. So because it's gluten-free, we have about 4.5 tablespoons of your garbanzo bean flour. Next, I'm going to add in the cocoa powder, which is going to make this nice and chocolatey without you really having to add chocolate. In goes a little bit of baking powder, which is why we don't need the egg. I have some of that demerara sugar right there. And then I'm actually going to add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of instant coffee granules. And this coffee and chocolate just go hand in hand together, and it just adds a nice depth to this since we're going to have that caramel sauce as well. So these are my dry ingredients, and I'm just going to whisk everything together so that everything is nice and distributed before I add my liquid ingredients. So I have close to a 1/4 cup of soy milk, or you can use almond milk, and then I have about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and then finally I'm going to add about 1¼ tablespoons, that's kind of exactly it, of some vegan butter. And this is to ensure that this cake is just nice and almost like pudding-like, because there's going to be just a lot of moisture in this. And then instead of salt, which you can do, I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of that gluten-free soy sauce to this. So just mix everything together, and then this is your batter. So now I have 2 ramekins. This actually makes 3 cakes, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to oil the bottoms. To be honest, actually this cake, because it's so moist, there's so much richness to it, it doesn't come out of these ramekins that well, so you can actually skip this step. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pour in some cocoa powder, and I'm going to dust the bottoms of these. Okay, so because these cakes are going to be microwaved, they actually expand a lot and they have a tendency to overflow. So I would say fill these guys up about 50%, 50, 60%, and that should be good, because what you're gonna do right now is you're gonna put in a giant dollop of this caramel soy sauce. It is just so, so good. So in it goes, and it's gonna kind of sink to the bottom while we cook it. Okay, so this is for a little bit of extra decadence. I have some dark chocolate here that I'm just going to put right into the centers, and just to make sure to tap some of the batter to make sure that the chocolate sinks to the bottom so that it doesn't burn in the microwave. There's that lovely retro microwave that you guys all liked. So I'm gonna put a plate on the bottom of this because, again, it has a tendency to overflow depending on your microwave. And this is an 800-watt microwave, and I'm putting it in for just about a minute. And when you take it out, you can see that it's just uber moist because of the vegan butter in there, because of the oil in there, and it looks as if it is underdone. But what I'm going to do is to put a piece of plastic wrap right over that, because this cake is actually still cooking. So I'm going to put it aside for 5 minutes, and then afterwards it should be really all set. So like I said before, there's so much moisture in this cake, I don't bother to turn it out at all because it's not really of the best presentation. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put some of that caramel sauce onto the side. It is so, so good. And then when I was thinking of what to dust this guy with, I thought soy sauce, let's go with roasted soybean. So this is a little bit of kanako right here, and it's just gonna provide a nice nutty flavor on top. Look how fudgy it looks, and when you get in towards the middle and the bottom, there's that creamy soy caramel sauce, and it just blends so perfectly with the chocolate. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this soy sauce dessert recipe. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!